Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea. Hope you're all good. So this video, I was asked to do this video again. As you can tell, I've been taking requests for videos because it's what you guys want to see at the end of the day. This video is about creating ambient textures with your guitar and effects. So for a start, the first thing I'm going to say is you definitely don't need the top of the range reverb or delay pedal or anything like that. No matter what anybody tells you, you don't need the top stuff. If you can afford it, then great. But if you can't, then don't worry, because it's not really about the intensely expensive gear to be able to create ambient tones. Most of you sort of comment saying that I play ambiently and I do a lot of ambient playing and that you enjoy it. So this is a great video for me because it is a comfort zone of mine. Firstly, you'll need a delay pedal. It could be any delay pedal. Boss DD6, you could use the TC Flashback. If you've got Strymon stuff already, great. There's plenty of good delay pedals out there. If any of you guys have got the Line 6 DL6, that is a great delay pedal. But generally speaking, you just need a delay pedal that can give you some repeats. If it's got a tone knob on it, great. If you can shelf some of that high end, great. But anyway, you just need a delay pedal. Secondly, you need a reverb pedal. So that could be the Boss RV6, could be a Hall of Fame. Anything that you can manipulate the tone of the reverb, and it needs a whole reverb ideally. The two things I would say are really important in getting that ambient tone right is a slow decay delay that lasts a little while, and a long decay time reverb with on the whole setting with the tone down. The reason is because the whole setting is the most rounded, warm reverb sound that you can do between plates, springs, holes, that kind of thing. So whole is definitely the best way to go. You want to push the decay time up quite a bit, and if you have the ability to roll off the tone, then do that, because you want it to sound warmer, darker, and not really sort of give you too much high-end reverb, because that's not what we're trying to do. The general gist of playing ambiently is to play minimally, chords, notes, and then let the reverb and the delay do the work, essentially. Bearing in mind, if you don't have any of these pedals or equipment available, but you do use Logic or Cubase or any kind of DAW, it will have reverb plugins that you can use, and for the most part you can adjust the delay time of those, you can adjust the decay time, and also you can EQ those reverbs. You just need to go into the plugin, have a look around and see what you can customize. Again, just to reiterate, delay pedal, reverb pedal, and everything just wants to take a long time to dissipate, essentially. With regards to how dry and wet to have it, again, you don't want it to overpower the chords you're playing, whether it's something intricate or just simple, but at the same time you want it to support what you're doing so that it doesn't sound like you play a chord and then it gets really quiet and you can just hear it. It wants to be quite audible. So I'm running my Strymon, Big Sky and Timeline in order to give you a demonstration. I've been coil tapping using the middle position and neck position on my guitar. I'm using the Kraken, as always, going into the Torpedo Studio. So let me give you an example of what we're looking at. You can create this using any of your software or pedals if you've got them, but essentially you want this kind of sound. I'm just going to play one note. So you get the idea. It lasts a long time. That decay is going on for about 15 seconds. That's what I programmed in. Most DAW reverbs, the longest I've seen is around 11 to 12 seconds, and that's the Space Designer plugin on Logic. But again, you can just manipulate this if you've got the software or the pedals to do it. So yeah, put your decay time up and get a delay going that's quite nice. So on this one, it's quite a soft delay you can hear going on there. The reason for that is mainly because the clarity is going to come from the guitar, the notes you're playing, the velocity at which you're picking the strings, and the chords you're playing. What you want the reverb and delay to do is just to give you an underlayer of texture and atmosphere against what you're playing. And the idea is that you cut out all the noodly stuff. You know, you just play minimally. So like. So as you could hear there, it was really simple what I played, and that's the trick. One of the best examples of this kind of thing is The Edge from the U2. If you know them, of course you do. But The Edge is a great example of how you can play very minimally, but using effect, you can create these beautiful soundscapes. Some of my favourite bands that do this are, as I always say, Carnival, Incubus. They're very good at creating atmospheres. Particularly Carnival, Tesseract are very good at this as well. And a lot of the more modern progressive metal movement, such as Periphery and Monuments, and it's become very common to do big ambient sections. But for me, it came from a place of loving that sound that Carnival create, and even before I even knew them, I always used to love doing that. So things to play, tips on the kind of thing you can play to create ambient textures are essentially just 2-note intervals to get you started. So I've taken the delay and reverb off, and this is my chord, my power chord. So that's this is down in drop C sharp, by the way. But if you want to know the fret numbers there, that's 7th on G string and that's 10th on B string. And all I'm doing, I'm moving the top note around, so it moves from 10th B string down to 8th, up to the 11th, and then down to 7th. So. So it's really simple, and the idea is that when you put those delay and reverbs on, suddenly you've got this world of texture. So I'm going to add the back in again, and here you go. So you can add more of the reverb or the delay in there to give it more mood and more sort of vibe. And I have a few different settings. I'll have one that's sort of minimal ambience, then slightly more, and then loads. So if I push the decay time up and the reverb again and the delay, I'll show you another example of the kind of things you can do with some interesting chords. First chord I'm playing is going to be, well, again, we're in C sharp, so that's going to be a D flat minor for all those in standard. For everyone else, it's just 5th fret minor chord. We're going to move to the 8th fret and we're going to play a sus2 from the A string down. Going to move that up to the 10th fret and play an A caged major chord. And then I'm going to go back to my first chord, which again is D flat minor, or for all those in standard, it's D minor. As you notice there, rather than playing the chord, I started picking out the root, the 5th, and whichever note I'm using to create the major or the minor or the sus or anything like that. So there you go, there's a quick chord progression that you can try out to try and get those ambient sounds and perfect them. It's really simple, but it's really effective. The coolest thing about delay and reverb is when you use it properly, you really don't have to play a lot to create very cool, inspiring, and rich sounds. And that's one of the things I love most about it. So just to recap how I go about creating ambient tones and how I would recommend it if you've never done it, is to use a delay, get it on a slow repeat with a long decay time, and if you can shelf the high end of that, great. Same with the reverb, you want it on the whole setting, you want to dip off the tone so that it's nice and dark, and then push the decay up so that it lasts a long time. I would recommend in terms of decay time for your reverb, anywhere from sort of 8 seconds up to sort of 12 seconds if you've got something like that. And then with the delay, you want it just to sort of accent the decay time of the reverb. So if it lasts the same amount, that's fine. But that's it. That's how I'd go about creating ambient textures. I'll do more on this subject as I go on throughout time. But the idea was just to do an introduction into this kind of playing, and so that I could get more feedback from you guys. If there's anything else you'd like to know or learn about ambient playing in that way, then yeah, please comment down in the comment section. Like and subscribe, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.